Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is John Leary, and we are about to do 60 minutes of recovery yoga. You're just going to need an open space, mat maybe. Go ahead and meet me on your back. And you can start with your legs extended out long, or option to take your legs into a cross-legged position, like you were sitting in easy pose. Walk your shoulder blades in underneath you. Feel your chest perched up. You can extend your arms out to the sides, palms face up, or take one hand to belly and one hand to chest. Let your eyes fall shut and bring your attention to your breath. Begin to breathe deeper through your breath by constricting your throat. Imagine that there's a hole in the front of your throat and you're dragging the air through on the inhale and pushing out on the exhale. Maybe begin to hear your breath become audible. On each inhale, feeling your belly, chest, and collarbone expand and move up towards your chin. And on each exhale, feeling your chest depress as you pull your belly button back to spine. If your legs are crossed in front, go ahead and switch the arrangement. Notice if your mind has wandered and you're no longer tracking your breath. If at any point tonight you recognize that you're lost in thought, just use your next inhale to come back to center. Recognize that the objective is not to stop thoughts from occurring, but to recognize when you've become lost in thought and to pull yourself out and become present. In time, bring your feet to plant flat on the mat, knees up towards the ceiling, arms out and down, 45 degrees, palms face up. Inhale here at center, and then exhale, windshield wipe your knees to the left side. Begin to feel a stretch on the outside of your right hip. to add to the stretch, you can plant your left foot on top of your right quad. Rotate your gaze so that your skull is pointed towards your right fingertips. On each inhale, breathe into your chest. Feel it expand. Each exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Left foot plants down. Inhale, knees to center. Exhale, windshield wipe knees to the right side. Stretch on the outside of the left hip. Add to the stretch by planting your right foot on top of your left quad. Gaze rotates, skull over the left fingertips. Breathing into your chest on each inhale. And twisting deeper with each exhale. Right foot plants down. Inhale, knees up to center. Exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. Feet extend up over top of your knees. Feet posed. Grab onto the outside edges of your feet, pulling your knees into your armpits. Maybe rock gently side to side. Push up through your heels here. Pull down onto the balls of your feet and try to ground your low back flat on the mat. With a stretch in your hips, maybe your low back. With your next exhale, send your knees out to the side as you bring the soles of your feet to touch in a butterfly position, still reclined on your back here. Your chest may come up towards your feet slightly. Pushing your knees out and towards the front of your mat, pulling your feet in towards you. Begin to rock gently forward and back to build up momentum and come up into a seated position. Find easy pose here. I'll start with my left shin in front, legs crossed in front here. Your feet are underneath your knees. Try to flex your feet so that your toes point towards the front of your mat. Hands plant down next to your hips. Next inhale, push up out of your shoulders to lift your hips. Go side to side briefly before you set your hips down a little bit more flat. Inhale, circle your arms out, around and up, and then exhale, arms forward fold here. Round your upper back, tuck your chin, and release your neck. See if you can release any tension in your hips, letting your knees drop down towards the mat. You can use each inhale to spider tip your fingers forward, pulling yourself deeper into the stretch. Time. Walk your fingers in, torso comes tall. Switch the alignment of your legs. So I started with left shin in front. I'm going to switch over to right shin in front. Put your feet underneath your knees. Flex your feet so that your toes are pointed towards the front of your mat. Plant your hands next to your hips. Inhale, push up out of your shoulders. Take your hips side to side in the air here before you set them down. Just a little bit more flat. Inhale, circle your arms out, around and up. And then exhale, extend your arms forward, palms face down, round your upper back and tuck your chin. Forward fold here. Notice how changing the shin position changes the stretch. Use your breath to inhale, fingertips forward, and exhale to pull yourself down. Time. Walk your fingertips in, bring your torso up. Plant your hands next to your hips and push forward over your shins. Transition to a tabletop position. May need to reposition yourself on the mat. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Toes can be tucked or untucked. See if you can rotate the inner portions of your elbows so that they face forward like headlights on a car. Pull your lower belly in up towards your spine. Take the curve out of your low back. Feel the top of your head extend long towards the front of your mat. Next, inhale, drop your belly down, pull your shoulders back and take your chin up. For cow. Imagine that you're pulling your elbows back towards your hips here. Next, exhale, push your mat away, round your upper back, and tuck your chin into your chest for cat. Inhale, belly down, shoulders back, chin up. Exhale, mat away, round your upper back and tuck your chin in. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Continue to move with your own breath. Focus on keeping your hips directly over top of your knees throughout the movement. In time, meet in a neutral tabletop position. Inhale here, and then exhale, extend your hands long in front, puppy dog pose, forehead drops down to the mat. Hips are over top of your knees. Toes can be tucked or untucked here. Engage your shoulders. Press your hands down into the mat as you squeeze your hands towards your midline and feel your shoulders contract. Stretch in your upper back, underarm area, and triceps. Begin to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Tabletop position. Transition to child's pose. Bring your toes to touch. Spread your knees out wide. Inhale and then exhale. Sink your hips back towards your heels. Hands extend long in front. Forehead comes down to meet your mat. With each inhale, spider tip your fingers a little bit farther in front and sink your hips back towards your heels. Feel the stretch through your mid-back. Next, inhale, breathe deeply into your upper back. And then exhale, spider tip your fingertips off to the left side of your mat. Maybe stack your right hand on top of your left. Feel the stretch from your right hip up into your right tricep. Sink your right hip back towards your right heel to deepen through the stretch. On each inhale, feel your right side body rotate open to the right side of your mat. Each exhale, you sink down. Inhale, fingertips to center. Exhale, fingertips to the right side of your mat. Maybe stack your left hand on top of your right. Stretch from your left hip into your left tricep. Sink your left hip back to your left heel. Each inhale, you feel your left side body expand and open towards the side of your mat. Each exhale, sink your torso down and your hips back. Inhale, fingertips to center. And exhale, bring your hands to meet at the crux of your neck. Elbows are planted down. Walk your elbows in towards your midline and a couple inches forward. Ground down through your elbows and exhale to sink your hips back towards your heels. Stretch in the triceps and underarms. In time, extend your hands long in front. Hands are shoulder width distance apart. Next, inhale. Move your torso forward. Come into a tabletop position, but with your knees angled out towards the edge of your mat. Toes are touching. Inhale here, and then exhale. Sink your hips forward, broad across your chest as you take your gaze up. Seal pose. Inhale here to lift up out of your shoulders. And then exhale, sink your hips back to child's pose. Finding a flow here. Inhale up. Exhale, sink your hips forward, gaze up, shoulders broad. Inhale, and then exhale, sink your hips back to child's pose. Move with your own breath here, flowing between child's pose and seal. In time, come to meet in child's pose. Come up into a tabletop position, transition to plank, tuck your toes under, hands under shoulders, straight line from your heels through your hips to your shoulders. Next, inhale, move your shoulders north of your fingertips, and then exhale to chaturanga down, elbows over top of your hands as you lower your belly down onto the mat. Pec stretch here. Take your right arm out to the right edge of your mat. Right elbow's in line with your right shoulder. 90-degree bend in your right elbow. Fingertips point forward. Left hand plants underneath your left shoulder. Next, inhale, lift your left leg up as you drive your right shoulder down, and then exhale to bend your left knee, open your chest up towards the left side of your mat. Stretch across the front of your right shoulder into the right side of your chest. Left hand can be under your left shoulder, planted on the mat, or wrapped around your low back. Left foot can hang, or you can plant the sole of your left foot down flat and open your knee up towards the ceiling. Next, inhale, rotate back to center, and then exhale to release down. Opposite side now, left arm out to the left, left elbow's in line with your left shoulder, 90-degree bend in your left elbow, fingertips point forward, right hand plants under right shoulder. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, bend into your right knee. Drive your left shoulder down towards the mat. Stretch across the front of your left shoulder into your left chest. Right hand can be down on the mat or wrapped around your low back. Right leg can hang, or you can plant your right foot down flat on the mat and rotate your knee up towards the ceiling. Inhale, back to center, and exhale to release down. Hands come underneath your elbows. elbows tucked into your side. Next, inhale, baby cobra. Engage your back to lift your chest. Take your gaze up and see if you can take weight out of your fingertips. Exhale to release down. Inhale, cobra pose. Push down through your palms. Extend your arms to lift your chest. Breathe here. Extend up out of your shoulders. Rotate the inner portions of your elbow so that they're facing forward like headlights. Gaze is up. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to release down. Next, inhale, upward facing dog. Extend through your arms. Lift up out of your shoulders. Contract your quads to lift your legs. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Flip your toes under as you send your hips up and back. Begin to bend into one knee and then the other. Fingertips are spread wide. Push down through your palms. Chest goes back towards your legs. Goal here is to lift your hips as high as possible as you straighten out your back as much as you can. In time, begin to walk your hands in towards your feet. Forward fold at the back of your mat. Next, inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins, 90-degree bend at your waist. Breathe here. Pull your shoulders down your back, broad across your chest. The weight is in the balls of your feet. The tension's on your hamstrings, feeling the top of your head extend towards the front of your mat. Inhale, exhale, forward fold down. Next, inhale, circle your arms out, around, and up as you contract your quads. Push on your glutes. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Mountain pose. Bring your feet together so that the balls of your feet are touching. Your heels are slightly apart. Edges of your feet parallel with the edges of your mat. Ground down through your big toe. Lift all the others. Spread them wide and place them down one by one. Feel grounded through all four corners of your feet. Contract your quads. Feel your legs rotate out. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. Take the curve out of your low back. Feel your chest and torso lift up. Inhale, circle your shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale, shoulders down your back, broad across your chest, arms out and down 45 degrees, palms face forward. Check in with your low body. Feel grounded to the mat. Tuck your chin down towards your chest, tall through the top of your spine as you let your eyes fall shut. Notice where your mind is. And use your next inhale to come back to your breath. Notice if the muscles in your face are tight, if you're squinting your eyes. In time, come back to center, mountain pose, the back of your mat here. Step your right foot forward, maybe to finding pyramid pose. Walk your left foot off to the side of your mat so that it feels like you're standing on railroad tracks. Right foot points forward, left foot points out at a 45-degree angle. Your hips are going to want to shift open here. Pull your right hip back and rotate your left hip forward, nice and even. Inhale, circle your arms out, around, and up, and then exhale, fold forward and then down over your right leg. Keep a micro bend in your right knee. Down on a block or a pillow that you have. Otherwise, you can place your hands down on the mat, or you can bring your hands to rest gently on your right shin. Continue to focus on pulling your right hip back, rotating your left hip forward. Stretch in the right hamstring and maybe even the right hip. Notice the tendency to collapse down onto your leg. Use your torso to suspend yourself in air, feeling the top of your head extend long towards the front of your mat. You can even do miniature halfway lifts here, using each inhale to lift up and extend out, and each exhale to fold deeper. In time, begin to roll back up into a standing position here. You can bend into your right knee as you step back to the back edge of your mat, switching sides. Step your left foot forward 2-3 feet. Feet are on railroad tracks. Left foot points towards the front of your mat. Right foot points out at a 45-degree angle. Hips are going to open. Pull your left hip back. Rotate your right hip forward. Micro bend in your left knee. Inhale. Circle your arms out, around, and up. And then exhale. Fold forward and then down over your left leg. Hands can come down onto a block, the mat, or rest gently on your left shin. Notice if your hips have opened up, pulling the left hip back, rotating the right hip forward. Stretch on the left hamstring and in the left hip. Notice the tendency to collapse down onto your leg. Use your abdominal muscles to hold your torso out and over your front foot. In time, begin to roll your back up. You can bend the left knee a little bit here. Torso's tall. Transition to a triangle posture. You might move your left foot a little bit farther in front. Back foot is going to drop down so that it's parallel with the short edge of your mat. Left foot, walk it over towards the right edge of your mat so that your left heel is in line with your back big toe ball mount. Inhale, arms come up into a T position. Exhale to relax your shoulders here. Inhale, fingertips forward, and then exhale, arms come to 12 and 6 o'clock. Right hand stacked directly over top of your right shoulder. Palms are open and to the right side of your mat. Left hand can be down on a block or on the inside edge of your right shin. Right hand can be tall or down on your right hip. Notice the tendency to collapse in on your left side here. Use your abs, suspend your torso, and focus on extending forward over your left foot. Take your gaze, rotate it up towards the ceiling. See if you can pull your left hip back and rotate your right hip forward here. Give yourself a little bit more torque to open your chest. Inhale, bring your torso up into a neutral position here. Rotate into a star position, toes pointed towards the long edge of your mat. Inhale, circle your arms out, around and up. And then exhale, swan dive down, wide-legged forward fold. Rotate your toes so that they're pointed towards the edges to the corners of your mat. Toes are rotated out 45 degrees. Begin to bend your knees and drop your hips down. And then take your hands and begin to walk them back underneath you, trying to pull your chest down towards the mat. Feel this stretch in your hips and low back. Dropping your hips as low as you can here. Begin to walk your hands back underneath your torso. Straighten through your legs, toes point towards the long edge of your mat. Left hand plants down. Inhale, right hand high, wide-legged twist. Exhale, down to center. Right hand plants. Inhale, left hand high. Exhale, down to center. And walk your hands over to your right foot. Runner's lunge towards the back of your mat. Right knees over top of your right ankle. Triangle pose this side. Drop your back foot down parallel with the short edge of your mat. Straighten through your right leg and bring your torso tall. Arms come into a T position. Inhale, fingertips forward, and then exhale, arms drop into 12 and 6 o'clock. Torso's extending out and over the right foot. Left hand can be over top of the left shoulder or down on the left hip. Using your abs to suspend your torso so that you can open your chest up to the side and gaze up. Try to pull your right hip back as you rotate the left hip forward. Inhale, torso up to neutral. Rotate your toes so that your toes are pointed out at 45 degrees, heels point in. Wide-legged stance here. Inhale, circle your arms out, around and up. And then exhale, squat down into goddess pose. Sink your hips low. Arms come into a cactus position. Notice the tendency for your knees to bend in. Try to pull your knees out and back towards your hips. Next, inhale, straighten through your legs as you circle your arms out, around and up. Exhale, squat down, goddess. Inhale to circle. Exhale, goddess. Inhale to circle, out, around, and up. And then exhale, rotate over your right foot, runner's lunge. Lizard lunge, starting with the right leg here. Heel toe your right foot out to the right edge of your mat. Arms are on the inside of your right leg. You can keep your back knee lifted, or you can drop your left knee down to meet the mat. Your right knee's over top of your right ankle. Inhale, chest tall, and then exhale, chest forward and then down. You can come onto your forearms or stay high on your hands. Wherever you are, tuck your chin and release your neck. You can stay here in lizard lunge or transition to a quad stretch. For the quad stretch, your left knee is planted down. Lift your torso up and take your left hand to your right knee. Right arm reaches back and grabs onto the outside edge of your back foot, opening your chest up towards the right side of your mat, trying to gaze towards the back edge of your mat. Each inhale, try to lift your torso tall, and then each exhale, twist deeper. Inhale here, and then exhale with control, come back to center. Slip your right knee back into a tabletop position, and then bring your left foot forward and plant it on the outside edge of your mat. Hands are on the inside of your left leg, left knee's over top of your left ankle. Right knee can be lifted up or it can be down on the mat. Wherever you are, inhale, chest tall, and then exhale, chest forward and down. You can come to forearms or stay tall on your hands. Wherever you are, tuck your chin and release your neck. Transition, pigeon pose, left side. Heel toe your left foot across your mat so that you can bring your shin down across the front of your mat. Left knee, front left corner of your mat. Left ankle underneath your right hip. Right leg extends straight out behind you. Feel yourself suspended over top of your hips, not sagging to one side or the other. Inhale, lift your chest tall, and then exhale, chest forward and down. You can stay high on your hands or come down onto your forearms. Try to pull your left hip back as you rotate your right hip forward. And if If your forehead's down on the mat, keep your hands where they are, lift your forehead, and just move it forward 2 or 3 inches. Feel that pull you deeper into the stretch. Time. Inhale, tall onto your hands. Hands plant down here. Tuck your right toe under, and then inhale to send your left leg up and back. Downward facing dog. Left leg extends high, 3-legged dog. Maybe shake your left leg out. In time, meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg tall, 3-legged dog, and then exhale, bring your right shin forward, plant it down, pigeon pose, right side. Right knee goes to the front right corner, right ankle's underneath your left hip, left leg extends straight out behind. Inhale, chest tall, suspended over your hips. Exhale, chest forward and down. High on your hands or down on your forearms. Pull your right hip back, rotate your left hip forward. And if your forehead's down on the mat, keep your hands where they are, lift your forehead and just move it forward 2 inches. Feel that pull you deeper into the stretch. In time. Inhale, tall onto your hands. And then exhale, drop off onto your right hip. Swing both legs long in front here. Take a slight knee bend as you get distance between your heels. Inhale your chest tall, and then exhale, snake your hands under your shins to the outside edges of your feet. You can take a solid knee bend here, really. Inhale, chest tall, and then exhale, pull your chest forward and down, rounding through your upper back. Feel the stretch in your low back and hips. Tuck your chin into your chest and release the back of your neck. time, unsnake your arms. Grab onto the outside edges of your feet and bring the soles of your feet to touch in a butterfly position. Pull your shoulders back. Try to stand tall through your upper back. Begin to send your knees out and down towards the mat and open the soles of your feet up like you're reading a book. In time, go ahead and close your book. Still holding on to the outside edges of your feet. Begin to rock onto your back. Feet extend up. Happy baby. Knees are up in your armpits. You can rock side to side. Notice how your body feels now compared to the start of class. Extend your right leg long in front. Keep your left knee into your chest. You can put your right hand on your left knee, or you can take your right hand to the outside edge of your left foot. Inhale here, wherever you are, and then exhale. Take your left leg to the right side. Supine spinal twist. Left hand extends towards the left side of your mat. Gaze follows. Inhale, left knee to chest. Exhale, left leg long in front. Inhale, right knee to chest. Left hand comes to the right knee or the outside edge of the right foot. Next, exhale, right knee goes to the left side. Right hand extends long to the right, gaze follows. Supine spinal twist. Inhale, right knee back to center. And then exhale, right leg long in front. Prepare for final relaxation. You just readjust your body side to side. Get some distance between your heels. Toes fall off to the edge of your mat. Pull your shoulder blades in underneath you. Chest is perched up. Take your hands underneath the back of your head, lift your skull and slide your hands out the top, laying your neck down nice and long. Arms go out and down, palms face up. Release any tension in your quads or shoulders. Relax the muscles along your jawline, at the corners of your mouth. corners of your eyes. Notice if you're squeezing your eyelids shut, let them rest gently. And relax the muscles between your eyebrows as you let your breath flow. Slowly bring sensation back to your fingertips and toes. And then roll off to one side, find a fetal position, hands tucked underneath your head. And then at your own pace, come to meet up in a seated position, front of your mat, eyes closed. Finding one final moment of silence together. Inhale, circle your arms out, around, and up. Exhale, hands to forehead, to mouth, and to heart center. Thank you very much for sharing your presence here for the last 60 minutes. Again, my name is John Leary. If you have any feedback or comments about the class, let me know using the link in the description below. And until next time, be well.